Hello again. Today I'm sharing with you a banana bread recipe. I have a few recipes on my channel here from a while ago, and there's one of them that is gluten-free and low carb. So this one's gluten-free. It's going to be low carb because of course bananas are not keto, but they can be low carb depending on how much of them you consume. And this one's really simple. We're actually not going to need any oil or any milk, which we did use or I did use in one of my other recipes. So I'm super excited to show you guys. It's really, really delicious. If you love bananas the way I love bananas, you're gonna love this simple banana bread. So especially if if you haven't been able to find certain ingredients that maybe some places are out of or difficult to get. Oil could be one of them, milk could be one of them, which is like almond milk and coconut milk and things like that. So let's get started, and I'll tell you what I have already here in my bowl are the dry ingredients, and it's basically gonna be a mixture of coconut flour, and I also have a little bit of oat fiber. And I have explained before in my other videos, oat fiber is not oatmeal, it's just the fiber from the oats, and it is a low carb ingredient that can be used, and it's also keto friendly. So I have a combination of coconut flour, oat fiber, and I also have baking powder, baking soda, a little bit of salt, and I have a really nice spice here. It's called mace. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. I feel like it's probably, in my opinion, a spice that is underused, but maybe in spiced cakes and breads they are used. So I find that this gives it a really, really delicious undertone, and I like it, so I use it, and we use very little of it because it's very strong. But if you don't have that and you prefer to use something else, you can use cinnamon, you can use any spice that you like. Okay, so that's what's in here. The other thing that we're gonna need for banana bread, of course, are bananas. So this is 1.5 cups exactly of ripe mashed bananas. These bananas were very ripe, so it depends how ripe your bananas are is what's gonna make your banana bread sweeter or not as sweet. So that's up to you. Then we have also eggs. We're gonna need 4 large eggs and some vanilla extract. I'm using this organic vanilla extract that I found. And I add vanilla to all of my baked goods, especially if they're sweet baked goods. You don't have to add vanilla if you don't want to, but I like vanilla. So vanilla extract is in this recipe. There's also some xanthan gum in there that kind of helps hold the bread together. So all we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and just with our whisk, just kind of whisk these ingredients, the dry ingredients together. And I forgot to mention, you're gonna wanna have your bread loaf pan ready. As you can see, I've oiled it, and you can use whatever oil you prefer or spray, and have that ready standing by. And you're also going to want to have your oven preheated to 350 degrees. Okay, so the dry ingredients, just kind of mix them up a little bit, and then you're just going to kind of add everything else in here. I'm just going to whisk the eggs up a little bit before I add them in. And I actually forgot one last ingredient that I use. If you wanted to sweeten this up more, because your bananas are not too sweet, you can add erythritol if you'd like. I don't know, maybe about 1/4 cup would probably be sufficient. Or stevia. I'm actually gonna add liquid stevia, about 30 drops. And again, it's gonna depend on how sweet your bananas are and how sweet you like your bread. If you wanted to add nuts or walnuts or anything to this bread, you can do that as well. I prefer my banana bread just with banana. Just banana. Now we're gonna add the bananas. So about 1.5 cups of ripe bananas, and this for me, on the size of my bananas, it was 2 bananas that I used, 2 large bananas, but you may need 3 if your bananas are small. So just mix everything in. actually going to use my spatula because the whisk is no longer any good here. Now, coconut flour is very absorbent, and so is oat fiber. If you don't have oat fiber, by the way, I've only been able to find the oat fiber online, like on Amazon. If you don't have the oat fiber, just use a little bit more of coconut flour because it'll still work. I don't know, for some reason I like the texture a little bit better when I use the oat fiber. Okay, and it's because we're not using any oil or any other milk or any other liquids. It's going to be, as you can see, it almost looks like just like a really nice tight dough. Now I did say I wanted to add a little bit of liquid stevia, so I'm going to grab that. And this is the liquid stevia that I always have on hand, the one from Trader Joe's. Okay, so I'm gonna add a dropper full and a half, okay? And that is just the liquid stevia that I prefer. I know there's flavored stevias, liquid stevias. I've never really used any of them. If you have them, or if you prefer to use those, you can. Just make sure everything is nicely combined. And this is exactly what it's gonna look like, or it should look like. If you see that your dough becomes drier than this, because some coconut flours are different, or all coconut flours are different. If you see that it becomes drier than this, or you can see bits of dry, then you may want to add a little bit of liquid, like some unsweetened almond milk, or even water would work, okay? So now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna go ahead and put it in our pan. This is like an 8x5 or 8x4. You can use a 9x5. The bigger your pan is, your loaf pan is, the less your bread is gonna rise. So I kind of like to use this one that's a little bit smaller, 8x5, so that the bread just rises a little bit higher. But that's up to you. And just, you know, level out the mixture. As even as you can. And you're gonna put this in the oven. I'm gonna check my recipe and tell you how long I bake it for. So it's gonna take anywhere between 40 to 50 minutes at 350 degrees. If you see that it starts getting too brown, then you can cover it for the rest of the way. But if you insert a toothpick in the middle and it's pretty clean, then you're pretty much done with it. But keep in mind that bananas are very moist, so you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be your toothpick completely clean. If you see a little bit of residue from the banana, that doesn't mean that the bread is not cooked. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the oven. Now before I do that, I did want to remind you guys that are watching my videos, if you like watching these videos and you want to know every time I upload, you want to subscribe and click the notification bell. I do notice a lot of you are watching my videos but not subscribing, so it's free. So please subscribe so you can continue to enjoy these videos, and thank you. I do appreciate all of your support. So I'm going to put this in the oven and I will show you when it's done what it looks like. Okay guys, welcome back. My banana bread is completely baked. It's finished. Look how beautiful it is. It smells amazing. As you can see, you see these cracks on the top. I actually think that gives the bread a beautiful character. And I have used a toothpick to check the doneness of the bread, like I told you guys earlier. And I put it right through the middle of the bread and it came out clean, okay? Although you can see through the cracks, you can see the moistness of the bananas that are in there. So you don't want to overcook your bread. You don't want it to become too dry because it is coconut flour and oat fiber. Those are very absorbent. So what I did was I baked this in the oven. My oven took about between 42 to 45 minutes to completely bake the bread at 350 degrees. Keep in mind, everybody's oven is different, so yours may take less or a little bit longer. So I would check it at about 35 minutes and you'll start to smell it. So you'll know that it's nearly done, and use the toothpick method, never fails. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave it on the counter. I have it on this cooling rack, and I leave it in the pan that I baked it in for about 20 minutes before I invert it and take it out. Then leave it on the cooling rack for a good another hour, hour and a half. If you can wait longer, and then you're ready to eat it. The best thing to do though is to wrap this bread in plastic wrap and either leave it on the counter and have it for breakfast the next day if you make it at night, or you can put it in the fridge if you want it to last longer. But you guys are gonna love it. I hope you like this recipe and you try it. Thank you again for watching my videos, and I do appreciate everyone's support. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so that you know when I upload new videos. Thank you again. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.